Hi, my name is Kagets and today we're going to talk about animals that love getting high. And no, this is not just to make me feel better about myself. Before we start, I just want to remind you that I'm not a biologist and English is my second language. I make these videos to entertain, to learn, and maybe even teach a little something along the way. Now, speaking of learning, let's talk about my problems with alcohol. Let's first talk about probably the most beloved animal in the world, for reasons I still don't fully understand. Dolphins and their addiction. So let's start with the facts that dolphins needing a break from their psychopathic lives filled with crime, some of the more troubled ones turn to drugs. Specifically, they seek out toxins secreted by a certain species of puffer fish. So let's introduce the next victim of these psychopaths, the pufferfish, specifically from the Tetranoidae family. This fish produces a toxin called tetrodotoxin, a powerful neurotoxin mostly found in their ovaries and liver. Two small amounts are present in their intestines, skin, and even trace in their muscles. Tetrodotoxin disrupts electrical signals in the nerves, and if the dose is fatal, it leads to progressive muscle paralysis. Other symptoms include dizziness, exhaustion, headache, nausea, and difficulty breathing. 50 to 80% of victims die within 4 to 24 hours. The scary part, the poisoned person remains conscious most of the time but is unable to move, speak, or eventually even breathe. Yet, as you can see, dolphins, our lovably low-level drug addicts, find messing with a toxin strong enough to kill 30 people or, like 2 Americans. In their quest to satisfy their addiction, dolphins gather in a group around one pair of chubby pufferfish. Why does this remind me of my time in school? Anyway, they bite it, toss it in the air, hold it in their mouth, and basically use any method of torture they can come up with just to get their fix. Once they're satisfied with the effects, they drift away, staring blankly at the surface of the water or plotting new ways to take over the world, while trying to treating the Geneva Convention like a to-do list, leaving the poor traumatized fish behind. Up to now, we've been exploring as it were some rather ugly animals with psychopathic tendencies. It's time to dive into something beautiful at least, even though it's frowned upon in bee society, some rather selfish individuals love to get drunk, but that's enough of a spoiler. As most of you know, a bee's main goal is to collect pollen and nectar from plants and trees. Alcohol can come from many sources, and in warm weather nectar can ferment, attracting a few tipsy bees. When they drink this beverage, they behave just like drunk humans. Before we continue, I apologize for the quality of my microphone and my level of English. I know it's hard to believe, but this is my best attempt at this point. Our little alcoholic bee has only two options. The first is to sit on a flower and wait until it sobers up. The second is to somehow manage to return to the hive. However, it's important to know that hives have guard bees. Without question, these guard bees will bite off the drunken bee's legs, leaving it with little to no chance of survival. Honestly, as I think about it now, I wouldn't want to be a bee. I still want to keep my legs. You probably ask why the punishment is so harsh. The answer is that the overexposed alcohol may end up as food for the larvae, which will cause them to die, which will cause the whole bee population to perish. So far we talked about animals that aren't exactly photogenic after their addiction. So now let's focus on animal that can stylishly pull off drinking, the vervet monkey. Chlorocebus bigarethurus. These little guys have a knack for life and somehow manage to look great while holding their favorite beverage. I wish people on the internet would admire my photos with alcohol in hand the same way they enjoy the playful antics of these adorable monkeys. These cute little criminals not only pass their addiction down to their offspring, but when they don't have enough alcohol in their system, they often steal it from people. That's why there are so many pictures of them with drinks in hand on the internet. What's a bit worrying is that heavy drinking monkeys often become respected leaders within their groups. I'd like to take this opportunity to emphasize that feeding wild animals is wrong. When animals start to realize that humans aren't a threat, behaviors like stealing alcohol can become common. This isn't just limited to the less dangerous species. Many monkeys are notorious for taking things from people, often stealing food right from houses, some even beg for food, and if they don't get it, they can become aggressive. Most of the monkeys are protected by law, so it's not like you can do much about their antics. Speaking of feeding animals, I'm planning to make a film about this topic in the near future. This won't just be a film about swift lives as discussed in this section. We all know about Santa Claus, but what if I told you there's a theory that suggests Santa was actually inspired by two surprising things, raider and fungus, more specifically the raider or caribou Rengifera tarandus and particular fungus known by its Latin name Amanita muscaria. So now you're probably wondering what any of this has to do with a jolly slightly overweight man sneaking into our homes at night and leaving mysterious gifts. When you really think about it, it actually sounds kinda creepy. So our four-legged friends the reindeer love to eat the mushroom because apparently no creature in the world can resist a little indulgence. The thing is, for them it's not dangerous. One day some curious humans watched the reindeer munching on these mushrooms. Afterward, the reindeer started running around and making strange noises, which the people found amusing. Naturally, they thought, hey, let's try it too. Unfortunately, many of them didn't survive the experience, and those who survived were feeling so good that they thought, well, sure, many people have died trying this, but what the hell, let's eat some more. But then one genius in the group come up with in an even better idea. Wait, why don't we let the reindeer eat the mushrooms first and then we'll just drink the urine? Naturally, everyone thought this was a brilliant plan. Our genius, who boldly claimed that drinking reindeer urine was the better option, may or may not have been a scientist, but he sure believed he was onto something. He theorized that the toxin in reindeer urine would somehow sterilize the poison from the mushrooms, leaving only the pleasant hallucinogenic effect behind, as if he were a pure genius. I'm honestly surprised he didn't receive a Nobel Prize for his groundbreaking discoveries. And by some miracle he was right, sort of. Reindeer and humans soon shared a common addiction, often indulging together. According to legend, during these trips, shamans could see the community's future transform into animals and fly toward the North Star to gather knowledge to share with others. After their hallucinogenic experience, they return to the group in their yurts. However, before you get any ideas about trying this magical mushroom, here's a warning. It consists
It contains muscarinic and 3-hydroxyisoxazole derivatives, ibotenic acid, and muscimol, also known as pantherine.
Some effects include vomiting, diarrhea, difficulty breathing, and irregular heart rates. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed my material. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the end. Have a great day or night. Bye.